So we're going to talk about stays and waits. Technically, stay and wait do mean two different things. Stay is park yourself how I'm leaving you. Don't move, I'll be back. Wait is park yourself how I'm leaving you, but pay attention, I'm going to call you to do something. If you want to use them separately and you're consistent, the dog will figure it out. If you want to pick one, pick one. It doesn't matter. But we need to teach the dog in close proximity. Distance is the last thing you work with when you do stays and waits. The other thing I always like to tell people too is what's the farthest you really realistically need to be away from your dog and have them hold a position. It's not the length of a football field. That's not even realistic. You know, in my house, it's they need to wait or stay in the living room while I maybe get something out of the oven or something that's broken on the kitchen floor and I don't want their help. They need to hold that. That's the distance. That's a realistic distance in my house. I can still see them. I don't want to go out of their sight. It's not practical in my real world for me to be out of their sight. They break it, they break it. We just have to restart over again. Or if I don't see them, what if something comes in the environment that all of a sudden I've thrown them under the bus because it could hurt them.
Okay.
So we want to think about all those things first. But number one, are you ready, Abby?
Here is the lovely Abby.
I think we played ball a little too much.
Abby the Labby. Okay, so Diana Elizabeth says so far volume is much better than previous broadcasts. Fabulous. Okay, excellente. So we've got Abby. What are we doing?
So we're going to first just put her in a sit. Sit her down just because they're a more reliable position. Okay? And put yourself a little bit closer to her, Sarah. And all I want... Uh-oh. We might have a problem.
I knew we should have done Tulia today.
Okay? Yeah, we've done Tulia so often. And just ask her to stay or wait. I don't care.
Stay.
Wiggle one hand up in the air. Mark and treat her for holding that position. Okay? Then do the same thing. Stay or wait. Wiggle the other hand.
Stay.
Poor Sarah's like, which hand?
Other hand, what's that?
Okay? Then this time ask her to stay or wait. Wiggle both hands.
Stay.
She's like, this is boring.
You,
Abby's how old?
she's 3.
Okay. And we did play ball and we wore out a little bit.
She's a little bit on the thicker side.
But when I start this, I always want to stay that close to them, if not even a little bit closer.
Okay.
So that they know we're right there. We can, you start to feel them move even. You know, when you're that close, you can even see their body twitch a little bit. So you can remind them to stay or wait, whatever you want to call it. When they can do this, then we have to wiggle from the waist up. Oh, so more of us wiggles, but our feet are still close. They can do that, then we keep one foot and we get up this way. And then it's the other foot up this way. And
Okay,
wiggle
wait.
your hands.
So what are you doing? So you're doing some stuff to distract them, or why are we wiggling?
And so they know that you can move and they don't.
Okay, got
Okay?
it.
And then you can move a foot. Not both feet yet. Then another foot. Maybe you go backwards. Maybe you come back this way. Then eventually can you go a little tiny step over. And then come back and mark and treat them. We don't want to mark and treat them from over here because we want them to hold that position. So we come back over to them and get them to hold that position.
Okay.
That's the very, 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 very beginning. You can also use a food bowl. And that's another way to practice. Wait a minute, I need the other bowl.
Kathy has to go get something. So we're going to look at the lovely Abby while Kathy is oh, and look, Abby's interested. Abby's interested.
So
But she's not moving much. That's good, even though you're not on the leash, Sarah.
So then the other thing you can do is put some treats in a bowl. Sit. Ask them to stay or wait. Move that bowl. Nice. You slide. Okay, but I'm not going to put the bowl in front of her nose because that's really not fair. Okay? Stay. Nice. All right. Sarah's got better cookies.
I have the same one.
Okay, then I'm not. And you're going to practice with both hands. So that eventually, and I never go straight for the floor first. You know, she's an adult dog, so you're eventually going to get closer to the floor faster. But I'm always going to go in little increments. The other thing we need to come up with is a release word. The word says, behavior's done, you can get up. It's not come. Come is go from point A to point B. Release word just says, you can get up. But be careful what you pick for a release word. Don't pick something you use in general conversation. Okay is not the best word because we use it a lot. I got busted a lot of times. But what you can do, I don't care. You can stay in a down. It doesn't matter. Abby, stay. Nice. I'm going to mark that, and then I'm going to take a step back. Yay! Thank you. That And the yay is where you would put a release word. Something like free, release, that'll do, go, all done, bingo. It's whatever you want to pick.
Okay.
It does not get a reward. It doesn't get a cookie. Excuse me. And technically, she didn't have to come over to me. She's going to because I just given her a cookie. But my dogs wait on a rug when I get the mail. Well, as soon as I bring the mail in and I close the screen door, it's safe for them to be up because nobody can DoorDash or anything like that. So they're released to get up. I don't care. Get a drink, play with a toy, check the mail out. I don't care, but you can get up. And that's fine. When you're using a food bowl, yes, you put the food bowl down. If you're practicing at mealtime, they're going to the food bowl. But as a rule, they don't have to come over to you. It's just you can get up, the behavior's done, and it's a reward in itself. Okay? Hey, Abby. That's a big dog.
Mm-hmm.
Can you do it again? Sit. Stay. Nice. Yay! And she can get up or she can go do whatever she wants. Thank you.
She's like, where's the rest of the food?
I know.
This dog has not had treats.
When you get a food bowl, you know, I'm assuming she. Okay, just hold that thought. I didn't think she ran that much to play a ball. Hi, thanks. I need you. You're the dog in this situation. Okay, thanks. Stay. So let's say I know that she can hold that position while I've got the bowl here. I'm going to give her a release word, and then finish putting the bowl on the floor. Yay! And let her go get it. Thank you. You're not real sure about these bowls. She wasn't sure about the water one either. Don't you have bowls that size in your kennel? Thank you. Okay, so she knows. So she did well with that. But I'm going to release her here so she knows that on my terms, this is when she gets up.
Or goes down.
Stay. Yay! You can get it, or release. Here you go.
That is just way too much work. We're sorry. It's a little warm today. It's just too much work for this dog. Oh my gosh. I love live videos because we never know what our dogs are going to do.
Thank you, good girl. And as they get better, what are your rules? I want to be able to put the bowl on the floor, stand up, step back. What do you want to do? If you feed your dog in a kennel, again, what's the rule? Dog gets in the kennel. Do you put the bowl in the corner and then release the dog? Or do you put the bowl in the corner, shut the door, and then release the dog? Your rules. You have to decide that. As they get better, there are really very few treats involved because they don't need it. The reward becomes they get to get up. They get that release word. But then again, they could just go back down.
And you can use this for a lot of different things. Anytime what? You want them to...
Hold a position for you.
Like that.
There you go. If it's one of those where they have to hold it for more than a few seconds, I would probably practice a down with them because a down is more comfortable. Especially if you're on a slippery floor and you have a big dog. You know, to ask them to sit and hold that position for very long on that slippery floor, their legs start to go and it's uncomfortable for them. Put them in a down. It's okay. So that way they get that practice differently. But, you know, maybe you get to the corner and you're out for a walk. I need you to wait or stay, whatever you want to call that. And check the traffic. And then, all right, let's go. Well, maybe you want to practice that in a stand. Stand is going to be harder because it's easier to break. But down the road, it's a great thing to do because maybe in the dead of winter, you don't want them to sit. Mm-hmm. Maybe in the summertime, you're stopping at a corner where maybe the little flag is there, their lawn's been fertilized, so you don't know what's necessarily on the ground. You don't want that on their skin if you can help it. So they can learn to stand there. It's okay. But that way, we really wore her out, didn't we?
What did you guys do to this dog?
We just threw the ball a little bit.
Apparently we threw the ball a lot bit.
I guess
For her.
For her, it was a lot, I guess.
I love it. But anytime you want them to possibly stay over there, stay right at the threshold of the room so that you don't come in because I'm cooking or I'm cleaning stuff off the floor or somebody's coming in, and then you could transition that to even like doorbell, right?
Absolutely. The other thing you have to practice with them too is keeping things close, number one. But then before we start adding any kind of distance, we want to get some distractions in there. So, okay, sir, she's yours.
Abby!
Okay?
Abby! Abby! Hey!
So you're going to ask her for a steak. I don't care, sit her down, you go down because she likes to go down. Yeah. This is my best thing. Ask her to stay.
Abby, stay.
and I'm just gonna bounce the ball way over here. She holds that position, whoops. That's all right.
Okay,
Go back and do it again.
let me go over here.
Tennis ball's hard, because she likes tennis balls. Abby, come back here.
We're going to see if we can still hear you, Kath, with our new mic. I'm kind of far away. Okay, she's in a sit. Whoa!
I have everything, I'm out. Oh, so we started distraction, and it gets harder. And I'm gonna just walk behind her. Mark and treat her if she holds it. Okay, so that's a big distraction. Somebody that had given her cookies a little minute ago, oh, now they're walking behind me. As she's good at this, then maybe we'll try, can we go a little bit closer? Can we come over from the side? All right, so the dog figures out, oh, then maybe we could have something else that's different and fun. Just something different.
We spit our treat out.
Oh, well, that's okay. You can spit your treat out. Oh, free treat. Mark your treat. She doesn't know what this is. She's just seen it. She hasn't touched it. Nice. There you go. Now, Abby loves tennis balls. Loves tennis balls.
So you're going to torture her.
So just a little bit. Let's go from a distance. From a ball. So I'm going to start way back. Okay, so this wasn't way back enough. So put her back again.
Oh, she can hear that.
Okay, so for Abby, the tennis ball is going to be this absolutely excruciatingly hard thing to go for. You know, sometimes you can drop food. People walking by. It depends on the dog. What's their trigger? You want it? Not as much fun if you don't throw it. But to her, that's the biggest thing. So I would be starting like maybe outside where the sound dissipates better, and you're farther away. Can you bounce that ball? And bounce it once, and figure out how far away can you get. So I mean, we went half the room in here, and that was still too close for her. Still way too close for her. It's okay. It's just information for you. It's not good or bad. It just tells you something you need to work your dog through. But we want to be sure that the distractions are pretty solid. Because if you're out in public someplace and maybe you're sitting on a bench and you're visiting with somebody and somebody else is walking by with a dog, if you ask your dog to stay, they need to ignore that distraction for whatever reason. And there could be a multitude of reasons. But they need to learn how to do that. And distractions are hard. So,
Heck, distractions are hard for me.
there you go, me too. You know, if you're in some place where people can walk by with, food,
A cupcake?
you gotcha.
I'm all over it.
It's hard to pass it on. And it's hard for them too.
Oh, there's a ball.
But it's one of those that we just have to practice it. Yeah, and that's
So again, we start super close.
super close.
We move, they don't.
Right. And then eventually we're going to move and we're going to put some distance. But figure out that realistic distance. What's the farthest you really ever need to be away from your dog? And that's what you eventually work for. Not a football field. And like I said, I don't go out of my dog's sight. There's really not a reason. It's not practical in my world. If there's something that is practical for your world and it's real to go out of their sight, then yes, you would practice that. But it's going to be hard because they want to be able to see us. It's also going to be hard for you to make any corrections because guess what? You can't see them. And if they get up and get into the toy basket, then they rewarded themselves for getting up, which is just not good. Oh, and now she comes to life.
Ah, there she is. Got a tennis ball. She's ready to go. Sarah, tell us about Abby.
So Abby's a 3-year-old chocolate lab, and true to being a lab, she's very into fetch and playing with the tennis ball. And just like you saw with us trying to do some work with her after a fetch session, she got pretty tired. So she's not a dog who needs a whole lot of exercise, just a quick game of ball in the backyard. And she's going to be pretty set to just lay around the rest of the night, cuddle up, binge watch some Netflix maybe. She can get a little jumpy, as you saw, at times, so she'd probably do better in a home without any kids that are like toddlers or under 6 years of age, but she's all around pretty good, well-behaved pup.
Because she can jump and kind of knock you over.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And especially when you have the ball, she will get that ball.
Abby. Abby's been here a while.
And I think she's been here since March, April, probably somewhere around there.
Sell yourself. Sell yourself. Oh, look at you. You're so pretty. Oh, pretty girl. All right. If anybody's interested in Abby, she's available on our website, and her photo, she's wearing a lovely set of pearls, courtesy of Rhonda Persinger, who loves to shoot dogs in pearls. So that's her photo. But she's been here a while. If you're interested in her, you saw what she can do. She's pretty good with the ball and pretty good with learning. She can be very motivated or not motivated at all, like all of us.
Oh, yeah.
Excellente. Are we good? Does anybody have questions? Questions for the trainer? I know there's some people out there that were saying that their dog is still working on stay and still working on weight.
It is.
So that's something that takes a while, I think, and just kind of.
And the younger the dog, the shorter the practice sessions, because it's boring for them. Itsy bitsy puppies, it's a tough thing. Don't start it right away. Give them a month or so, and then start thinking about, or a couple months when you get after you brought them home, and then start thinking about. Figure out your dog's attention span first.
Kath, I know you're doing classes. Are you doing drop-in classes?
Drop-in classes are a go. 5:30 on Tuesdays.
So, and that is you drop in, you pay $16 or something?
$16.05, and you can either pay it online, or you can pay it at customer service, or you can just pay it and I'll have you do it on your phone when you get there.
You pop in and you kind of go over whatever they want help with.
Yep, and we go over all the basics, and then we address the things people have come for, and then anything else we have time for.
Okay.
It kind of depends on how many people are there, what we have time for.
So if you're a commitment phobe and can't do the entire month of classes.
Or you're a doctor, nurse, firefighter, and you don't have a work schedule that allows you a straight 6-week class, it works out real well for that. And I make it as different for you as I can.
So Jessica Ryan says, as soon as I turn away, they lose focus, but I stay straight on, they stay for a long time.
Okay, so then you have to start practicing with little steps. Here's the dog. Come out to the side. And then practice going out to the other side. So you're not always straight on from them. Practice, and it's just practice, but go little steps. Don't go big, huge steps. Practice little steps, just like you did before you went back. They can look at you, and you can remind them, but they need to hold their bottom right there.
Look over your shoulder, kind of go, hey, you're staying, you're waiting.
Yeah.
Got it.
And maybe when you're practicing turning your back on them, stay, but maybe instead of going all the way, go sideways first. And then come back and mark and treat them. Then you go a little bit further. Come back and mark and treat them. Don't treat them from out here. Come back and do it so they know, oh, I got to hold that even if they move.
Cool. Jessica says, great, thanks.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. I'm glad our audio is better. We got a new mic, so we're kind of excited about that. So if you can ever, if you run into issues, let us know. Training classes are online. Just at anyhumanesociety.org. We also have a behavior helpline, which is free, that you can write into or call into. BeHelp at anyhumanesociety.org for specific issues. Trainers will get with you, try to work you through the problem, send you some handouts, and even talk to you on the phone. So it's a great resource. We want you to be happy with your dog, and we want your dog to be a great citizen, like the lovely Abby. Abby is... All right, thanks you guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Love your pups. And let us know if you have any other questions about training, and we will try to address them in future Training Tip Tuesdays.